Good morning, good morning, good morning. And thank you for joining me on this Monday motivation. Currently being recorded and streamed live from London, UK. And it's currently just after 7 a.m. And I'm really excited about sharing this Monday motivation for you. But first of all, who is this for? I know that you're a dynamic person, and I know that you are a person that wants to get out there. You're a person that wants to make a difference, whether it's in your life or the life of someone else, or even the life of an organisation that you're a part of. But I also know that you are a person who wants to make not only a big difference in your life and other people's lives, but you want your life to be different, and you want to feel really seen, and you want to know that you are being really heard. So this is for you. So welcome, and thank you for joining me live. I can see that you are watching. I can't see who you are, and I can't see anything about you. I wanted to talk this week about motivating your environment, motivating yourself for an environment that you'll love, motivating yourself for the successes that you want, the outcomes that you want in your life, and for some of you in your business. Now, I know that as a business owner myself, that I get access to some really, really great resources, great things, some great communities and things like that. So this week I wanted to talk a little bit about how you can actually create those environments for yourself. So every now and then, if you see me looking down here, it's just that I've got some notes of some points that I want to cover. So I want to say good morning to Ivona. So hello, thank you for joining me. And this morning, I'm going to talk about the ABC, and in fact, I'm going to go and show you what I would like you to do. So I want you to just quickly go and grab a pen and paper if you've got some, even if you're on the tube, or, well, not on the tube because you wouldn't be watching this, but if you're on the train or going to work, apart from if you're driving. So, morning, Ivona. Just go and grab a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to draw something down on there. Let me show you. Can you see that? So it's like a row of bricks. A, 2 B's and 3 C's. Just scribble that down on a piece of paper. Fantastic. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, and when you write this down, leave space to write what the A's, the B's and the C's stand for. Quite an important point to add there. Okay, so amazing and dynamic people, and amazing and dynamic person, and yes, I mean you. You know that you're amazing, you know that you're dynamic, and you know that you have something inside you. It might just be that you are not the person to introduce yourself as being that. So this is for you. I want you to be truly seen and heard in this way. So hopefully you've written that down. And remember that you can come back to this after the stream as well if you want to go through it again, go through it more thoroughly. So here's one of the things that you can do just to create an environment that you will love, an environment that you will help you kind of create the successes you want. So A, what does A stand for? Well, here's something that a lot of very successful people do. I know this because I work with a lot of people that have some great successes in their life, yet they feel a bit like an imposter maybe. They feel like they're about to be found out. I work with people who, they say to me, Jenny, on paper, I'm fine. I had a client recently tell me, I'm fine, I'm comfortable, I've got plenty of work on the go, but I just feel like sometimes I do this thing. And what is that thing? What is that A? People do it alone. They do it alone, and they do it all by themselves. So here's how a successful person, a dynamic person like you, builds an environment that can create the sorts of things they want. They don't think that the only way to do it is alone. And I'm going to come on to some different ways of how you can do that. Now, I know that you're an action taker. I know for so many of you, there were 4 or 5 of you that kind of popped onto this live stream. You don't do that at 7 a.m. UK time if you're not serious about living the best life for yourself, showing your family how to live the best life for themselves. So rather than trying to do it all alone, one of the things that I know that you are looking towards is to take action. So just take a moment to pause. What action would you like to take, even this week, to get you closer to the goals and the things that you want to create in your life? Now, if you want to share them onto here, you can, but if not, make sure that you write that thing down. Just write 1 or 2 words so that you know exactly what that thing is. You've got the focus of what that thing is. So which one thing do you want to take action on? So in your grid like this, my little eyes peeping over the top, the way to create a creative environment is actually to take some form of action. Now, I know that sounds strange when you're talking about your environment. So the environment that you don't want to be in is you don't want to be in doing it alone, not all of the time. So just to give you an example of this, you know, I went to an event myself a couple of months ago now, and I made a really great connection with somebody there. We were talking about various different things around coaching and around running a business and that kind of stuff. And one of the things that we were discussing, we realised that we had a lot of synergy in that subject. So we decided to keep in contact and kind of made a bit of a pact that whenever any of these ideas came up or we wanted to take action on it, that we would, you know, contact each other, very short space of time, and we would talk about what could be going on moving forward. Now, for those of you that say, well, it's okay for you, Jenny, you know, you're self-employed, you can do whatever you want. This is just as true for those of you who are working within a business. Maybe you've got a job. It could be a corporate environment. It might be that you work in a supermarket or a restaurant. It could be that you work in a doctor's surgery or something like that. It doesn't matter where you work, because before 2010, I too would be going into work. The important thing is that you don't do things in isolation. Don't do things alone by yourself. So let's get on to the next juicy ones. So we've got 2 B's there. So make sure you can see B and B. So what are they? How do you strengthen your environment? How do you create your environment? Well, a very easy way to do this, regardless of who you are, what level you work at, whether you're the CEO of your own multinational corporation or someone else's, or whether you work in the post room and you're just getting along and doing the stuff that you want to do. One of the things that's so easy to do, the second B, to create a really great environment, are by reading books. Now, I know that the world is full of self-development, books, or as they sometimes become known, shelf help books, because I know that there's this fashion of not only buying the books, but for some of us, we just put them on our shelves and we never read them again. And what's the point in that? So that's one of the things to consider when you're moving forward. And Ivona says her action is to finalise her book. It's as good as ready. That's excellent news, Ivona. That's really, really great news. So there'll be an action now. You say it's as good as ready. So the next action will be to do something to get it to ready, if that makes sense. My sense is don't do that by yourself, whether it's accountability or something else. So nice job. I'm going to like that comment because I love that. So the books, why are books so important for creating a great environment? There are times when people say, but Jenny, I don't have a lot of time, I'm really, really busy. I run from this thing to this thing to this thing. Well, I would ask you to ask questions of yourself like, how long do you spend a week watching TV? Or how long do you spend a week watching cat videos on YouTube, or laughing babies, or whatever else you might look on there? How long do you spend doing things that you might not necessarily need to do in favour of something else? So as Ivona's on live, Ivona is finalising her book. It's as good as ready. It's nearly ready to go. So there might be something that she needs to kind of like knuckle down with and get done. And she can either spend the time knuckling down and getting that done. She could spend the time watching TV instead and having a break. she could spend the time reading books. So, and the book might be something that helps. In fact, as I glance over to my own bookshelf, this book is an absolute legend of a book. So if anyone, if you can't get the title of that, definitely go back and just have a look at that. Absolutely legendary book, recommended actually by a Hay House author, or somebody who is now a Hay House author. So going back to how books create that successful environment. So create that successful environment by having a look at the book. Good morning, Julia. Great to see you here. Thanks for coming. So create that successful environment when you have gaps in your day, and you do have gaps in your day, the ones where you think, I just want to slob out in front of the TV, I just want to not do anything, I just want to sit and eat 10 ice creams. Even if it's only just one page of a book, read something that really feeds your soul and can get you in the mind space, the headset of what you want to do. One thing that's important to know about this is that out of many things that we do, up to 80% of it is all mindset stuff. It's how we think about stuff, or how our thinking is about stuff. And that's the difference that makes the success at the end. If we wake up saying, oh, I don't feel like doing anything today, I can't do anything today, have you ever noticed how that affects your day? How it makes it very, very different? How it means that you get stuck in getting into your day? So why not pick up a book instead? Pick up a book that's going to feed your brain and nourish your soul, is what I say. And even if you're only reading that for a few moments, then it starts to put you in the environment of being ready to go. So the second B, remember, if you haven't already, write that down, because there's lots of little nuggets that we're adding into there. So then the second B is being a lifelong learner. And what do I mean by that? We all have skills, knowledges and behaviours that we're really great at. And one of the things that sometimes can be overlooked in this journey of developing ourselves, coaching ourselves, being great in personal development, is that we sometimes forget that even when we're great at something, those are actually the things to improve on or to do even more of. Okay, so when we know that we're good at something, when we know that we are just on a mission to get something done, when we know that we are improving maybe a skill, a knowledge or behaviour that we have, rather than saying this one's strong and this one's weak, so I'm going to have a look at the weak ones, go for the ones that you're really great at. And to recommend a really brilliant book for this, a book by a guy called Tom Rath, R-A-T-H, and it's called Strength Finders. It's got a little quiz in there. It identifies your top 5 strengths, and the premise of the book is basically to work on the things that you're good at and make sure that you have the things that you're good and you're great at, a little bit of those within your day, and watch your successes soar. So that's one really great resource to have. So Julia's saying, morning Jenny, I'm saying, morning Julia. And Ivona, yes, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. That's brilliant. And in fact, back in my corporate days, and lots of people that I worked with will remember this, I was a training and development or learning and development manager for quite a big financial services company and a big organisation. And I taught them the concept of eating the frog. And what I did was I printed out these great big frogs and just stuck them in really random places. In fact, in the evening, I actually put some in the men's toilets in the cubicles, give them something to look at, And people would come around the office and say, why have you got all these frogs? And then they went along, heard the training, and I became affectionately nicknamed Jenny Frog. How cool is that? So I have a lot of love for Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog book. So being a lifelong learner means not going into the mindset of I am weak and I need to learn something, I don't know anything. It's like, you know what, it's being open to learning stuff, being open to receiving new knowledge, being open to doing new things and doing new things in better ways. Being open to harnessing the mastery level that you already have. So if you're already good at marketing, or you're already good at sales, or you're already good at baking cakes, or you're already good osteopath, or you're already a really great consultant or coach, it's about doing whatever it needs, putting yourself in the environment where you can become even better. And for those of you that are in the Visibility Vibes Tribe group here on Facebook, it's a closed group, which means that people can see that you're in the group, but they can't see what you're posting. So if you're not in that group yet, hop on over and search for the Facebook group, the Visibility Vibes Tribe, and ask to join, and I'll definitely let you in. So what you'll find is if you're in an environment of supportiveness, that also makes a difference as well. So that brings me nicely onto the 3 C's. And just to say that if you're not already in the Vibes Tribe group, I'm actually going to be sharing a really great resource of something that I'll be going to, and I believe the lovely Julia will be on Sunday as well. I also share resources in how you can make a success in money, and I have to say these are not my resources. These are from a very good friend of mine her strength is helping people to be able to become financially free. So surrounding yourself in that environment helps, which brings me on, you see the 3 C's at the bottom? Brings me on to the 3 C's, and what are they? 3 C's for a really successful environment. Now, the first one are the connections. Who you're connected to. You know, sometimes there are people in life that you're connected to, you absolutely love, and then other times you see someone walking down the street and you kind of put your head down and want to quickly run down an alley and hide. Be really mindful of who you connect with. This is the same for you if you are, at work and you're an employee and there are certain people that juice you and other people that don't juice you so much. Be really selective with who you keep your connections with. This is nothing to do with snobbery. This is nothing to do with arrogance. This is all to do with being connected to the people that feed you and you feed them. This makes a huge difference. And thank you for the love on there, whoever's just sent that. The second C is around coaching. Now, this is something that I'm really familiar with as a coach. I know that some of you watching are also coaches too. And it takes sometimes for your own coaching clients to reflect something back to you. And, you know, quite often my ego will let me go out and say, I'm a coach that helps people do A, B, and C. You know, some of the things I do is help people to be truly seen and to feel really heard so that they know that their message or their book or their course or whatever they're putting out in the world, even their video, is making a difference. The other thing that I do is some sort of, I would call it success coaching. I know that people have got stuff around the word success. And the categories are very different. So one thing that somebody actually reflected back to me, one of my own clients said to me just a couple of weeks ago, was that, you know, I love these sessions. You know, we meet for an hour. I get to talk to you about what's going on for me. You were such a great sounding board. And then from that, this one nugget, 2 nuggets, something that I can take away, which completely makes a difference to how I go out there and how I affect life. And it's interesting that from a coaching perspective, that a lot of people that do come to me and work with me at that level, they actually say, but I don't need a coach, thank you. And I get that. And often they don't need a coach. What they need is a sounding board, somebody who's neutral to their environment, who can add some perspective on there and say, this is really great, and yes, definitely should continue doing this. And sometimes to say, no, I think you're wrong on this, and this is what you perhaps need to look at. So the second C, I should say. So the first one's about connection, second C is about coach, and the third is about community. And this is why I really encourage you, even if you're watching this recording and you're not part of the Visibility Vibes Tribe, to get in there. Go over there and see some of the resources that are shared, not just by myself. There are other people in there. In fact, last week, one of the lovely Visibility Vibers, as I call them, actually shared a video in there, another Facebook Live that they had done. So come and be part of that community. Come and be part of a community that cheers you on. When you say, look, I'm going for this thing, like, you know, Ivona could post in there and say, I'm going for it. This week is the week I'm going to finish my book. She's going to have lots of other people cheerleading her, supporting her, telling her that she can do it, as opposed to people saying, I don't know about that. I don't think that's going to happen. You know, that's the sort of thing that you need. So the ABCs, just to recap before we go. A is about action, but not about doing it alone. So if you've written the word alone, put a strike through it. You don't want to be doing stuff alone. You want to be taking action. The second B's, the 2 B's there, are all about books. So feeding your soul, feeding your environment, because if you're feeding your headspace, you are actually feeding your environment with books that nourish you, that teach you, that feed your soul. And the other B is to be a lifelong learner. Be open to getting even more better results for yourself. Even the world's most successful people understand and know that, and they will keep going, whether it's attending events, whether it's attending courses, whether it's looking at ways to really feed your soul. Then that's the second B. And the 3 C's are all about connections, who you connect with, who you see on a regular basis, who you surround yourself with. Coaching, because coaching can really feed you and bring you up. And your community. Again, who is in your community? Who are you choosing to spend your time with as well? And thank you so much, because Ivona's just said great community, and she's referring to the Visibility Vibes Tribe group. So thank you for being part of that community. Thank you for being part of the live stream. If you've got any questions, please plug them in right now. Otherwise, I will bid you great Monday. Have an absolutely awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you face to face out and about in the world, or even live online throughout the week. So if you've got any questions, please post them under this video, and I will pop back throughout the course of the day and answer anything else you've got. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing how you create your successes in the world. One more thing. I want you, if you can, just underneath this video, just to put what's the one thing that you are going to do to take action based on what we've covered. What's the one thing you're going to do to take action based on what we've covered? Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Ivona. Thank you. Julia says happy Monday. Happy Monday to you all. And look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.